Hey YouTubers, he's back. Yep, another pickup video. It hasn't been exactly a month like I usually do. It's been a little bit less than that, 3 weeks, but pretty much I've got all the pickups I'm going to get this month. And so, like a lot of people, a week before they get paid, they tend to be a bit skint on the readies, eh? But first of all, before I get started, I wanted to say a big thank you and congratulations first of all to Mark from GeordieSlasherGaming for winning YouTube of the month. Well done, mate. Well deserved. Do go over and check his channel out if you haven't already seen it. That's GeordieSlasherGaming. Also, I'd like to thank Scott Zombie, Sega Scott Zombie, who hosts the YouTube of the month's videos and everything else. And do check out the Sega Scott's channel because he's got all the nominees for YouTube of the month. And I think there's about 4 or 5 of us because I've been nominated, which is fantastic. Thanks again, Mark. By all means, check out the other channels and by all means, vote for them. I'm not asking for votes, don't worry about me. But definitely check out the other channel and support them if you can. But before I waffle too much on, this video is going to be definitely retro pickup. I have to confess, the second half is going to be games, and the first half is going to be nostalgic but new, well, mostly new, retro toot. So if you're born in the early 70s and you're in your 40s now, you'll probably enjoy what you're going to see. If you're not, then apologies. I've got quite a mix of retro goodness, so to speak, really. So what I'll do is I'll show those non-games first and then it'll be all games afterwards, okay guys? So apologies if you're here just for the games, but I'm sure you enjoy the other bits as well. First of all, last month I started showing a vinyl, one vinyl a month. And last month it was like the Beastie Boys Greatest Hits, which is a superb album. This month HMV had this reduced to £16. Who recognises that? Yes, that is a Lady Bjork. Bit of a nutcase, to be honest, but her first 2 albums were quite good actually. This is her very first album, debut, who came out in 1993. And again, if you're a bit of a into your indie Britpop music like I was in the 90s, you probably like Bjork. This album's got all the main hits that she's known for, such as Human Behaviour, Big Time Sensuality, Venus as a Boy, and yeah, so Violently Happy, another one. So it's a good album. It was only 16 quid, so very pleased to have that. If you guys are sort of thinking of getting into vinyl, by all means do. I recommend though, get yourself a decent turntable. You don't have to spend loads of money. Just get a used one, but get a new stylus. A nice turntable from the 90s or something, or 80s even. Don't bother with these suitcase turntables because they're overpriced for what they are, and the sound quality and the reproduction is pretty poor, really, guys. So if you are thinking of getting a turntable, get a used one. I've got a decent Sony one, actually a new one with a USB connection too. But I've got it all connected up to my my modern hi-fi. But you don't have to spend loads of money on a turntable, guys. If you guys say just get a second-hand one, but a decent one that you can get a new stylus for, and you'll be fine. Okay, I've got a book, and you say, "I'm not a book." Well, I do read occasionally, and I can read. This is a Marvel book. People think, "Oh, that's getting a bit more interesting." It's not a graphic novel, it's a compilation of all the serialization comics that Marvel produced for the original Star Wars trilogy. In America, I think they produced weekly comics serializing the first film, second film and the third film. In England, I think, was it weekly? That's a lie. In America it was monthly, in England it was weekly, so we had weekly comics. America had monthly comics serialising it, but basically it's all the same artwork, and this is a nice combination of all those comics more than anything else really. They did produce them in little novelisation books in the time, and my brother had them, but I don't know what happened to them, but they go for a pretty penny. But Marvel's reproduced them here, and they've added new colour to the artwork. So it's the same artwork, but just a new, more better colour scheme on it, really. And I got this off eBay, £18, but it's, you know, it's fantastic read. I mean, you all know what the Marvel Comics look like, but it's got a few additional bits that were in the movies in them as well, really. So if you like your comics and you like Star Wars, definitely pick this up, guys. Like I said, I got it off eBay, £18 including shipping, which is good because some places are charging £18 and then another £15 shipping from the States and stuff. So it's not necessarily cheap, but it's definitely good if you like your original Star Wars. Okay. Pop figure. Now a lot of people hate pop figures, and that's fair enough because they can multiply. And I've got this one here, which is like it's one of Stan Lee, the Infinity Gauntlet. It's like a bootleg pop of sorts, really. It's all produced by fans, and it's obviously got Stan Lee mould and all hand painted with the Infinity Gauntlet glove on. And this came, I bid on it for £1.83 including shipping, and it came. The box is all flat packed and everything, and it's like I said, it's a fan made one. I mean, it looks as good as a real Pops. Don't get me wrong, it's really good. But for £1.83 for Stan Lee with the Infinity Gauntlet glove, what, you know, you can't go wrong with that, can you? Really. A few more toys, and then we'll be on the games. Oh, not quite. We've got something else before the games. I was in Smiths, and I always like to have occasional look at Smiths to see what's new and what's out, just in case they bring out some re-release retro toys. And I was about to. I was very tempted with this large Predator toy with working laser lights and stuff, which would have been a nice sporty little toy to collect. But then I saw this, and some action figures, Marvel. And you may think, well, with Marvel action figures, what's so special about those? Well, if I show you this, can any of you spot what is quite unique or special about that? Yeah. You see there? The Kenner badge. Hasbro, like they've done with the Star Wars, we released some retro figures and sort of retro style artwork and mouldings and everything else. I've started doing that for their Marvel figures. So they're the same size as the Star Wars figures, but they've got the Kenner badge on them, which is fantastic. Now this one, I think there's two seasons of these figures out already, and I think there's going to be a third one, which has got like a vintage Ant-Man, which looks rather good. But these ones I've got here are from the first two seasons. So first of all, whoops, Spidey. Doesn't he look fantastic? I have to have Spidey, one of my favourite Marvel kid. This is another gorgeous looking figure. Hulk. Just look at that figure and the artwork, and Kenner badge. I just had to get that. These were the sort of figures I would have killed for when I was about, 10 and everything else. They're just so cool. Also got Iron Man. I wasn't so mad on Iron Man as a kid. I don't know, I just thought he was just like a normal human being in an Iron Man suit, which technically he sort of is, even though he's a technical genius. And, obviously, he has had to have that thing for his heart and everything else. But this figure is my favourite. And when I saw this and the artwork, I just think this is a piece of art in itself, really. Look at that. The Captain America figure. I just think that is absolutely beautiful with a Kenner badge. Because obviously Kenner made all the Star Wars stuff in America. Over in the UK we had Power Toy, which had the license. But a lot of the Kenner toys also made it over here from America. And there's some differences between the Kenner and Power Toy toys as well, really. But unfortunately, I don't think they've done any re-releases of Power Toy, probably because of the license and stuff, maybe. I don't know. But to get a Hasbro figure, but with the Kenner badge, I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to have to find a special spot for those four figures. I just think they're gorgeous, and for a tenner each, I don't think that's that bad, really. Okay, that's all the toys and took out of the way. I've got a little bit of VHS, mates. And a lot of you may not be interested in thinking, what's the point of VHS these days? And again, it's only that retro feel. Watching it on a decent old VHS player. If you do pick up a VHS player, guys, or you've got one, do take the time to take it apart and give it a quick once-over service. Bit of mechanical grease on the cogs, a bit of a wipe over the isopropyl alcohol on the spinning disc, and clean the laser, not laser, you know, a spinning disc clean on it. Do give it a once over, because obviously, even if it's been well stored and put in the loft, sometimes age can get to these things, and it's about keeping these machines going really, and try to minimise damage to the tapes, which is always a bit of a gamble these days with VHS, especially with tape rot and everything else really. But usually, even if the tape's got a bit of tape rot, if you rewind it a few times, and I'll put some of those little you know, these little packets of silica crystals you can get, which come with lots of things. I tend to put one of these in each VHS box now, just to try to absorb any bit of moisture really. But anyway, I cut an long story short. VHS tapes, expensive now, aren't they, guys? You used to see them everywhere for next to nothing, and probably still can at car boots. But unfortunately, I've asked this at charity shops. If they get any, they just throw them away now. They don't even put them out anymore, really, which is a real shame, because I reckon VHS tapes are going to be even more expensive and collectible in the future. So I just wanted to focus and get some of the classic movies. I'm not going to go mad on them, but I just wanted to get some of the classic ones more than anything else really. And so I've got this lot of games, VHS tapes. About, in total, I've got a bundle, really good bundle, for about £5 plus £4 shipping, which is fantastic. And then I bought another 3 tapes, which were about a £5 each with shipping. So in total, this lot of tapes I've got will probably cost about a £24 mark, which isn't, it's expensive if you can get these tapes at the car booty. But I reckon even these days, people who are into reselling will probably start picking up these particular tapes, because they know that they can sell them for, you know, a bit on eBay. So first of all, I've got came with a bundle, Star Wars Special Edition Trilogy. Nothing special, it's a special edition, but it's okay. Bit more interesting, the Aliens saga. So this has got the first 3 Alien movies plus the making of Alien Resurrection. I do have this set already, but the better one, which has actual Alien Resurrection movie in it. One tape I do want to get is Alien vs Predator. Even though it's a lousy movie, that tape is expensive, and it's quite uncommon really. But these other tapes I got really cheap. Unfortunately, the boxes are starting to age and crack, so I do need to get some replacement boxes though. So we've got Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, classic. Everyone who was a kid in the 80s would love that. Terminator 1 and 2. What to say about Terminator? You've got to have a bit of Arnie, and you can have Arnie, you have to have Predator. And you've got the first Predator, you have to have the second one, haven't you, with the old Danny Glover. And while we're still with Arnie, bit of Total Recall. Actually, for Mark, GeordieSlasherGaming, he'll probably love this movie, because we all know what he likes with the old, well, he sort of made a confession, didn't he, in his last video about Bridget the midget. Well, this video's got a lap dancing midget with a machine gun, so you'll probably like this movie, I should think. Because of Arnie, of course, nothing else. He'll definitely like his other movies, which he's probably got as well. Of course, he's got these. The classic Conan the Barbarian. I have to get the soundtrack of this on vinyl, because the soundtrack is phenomenal. If you don't know what I mean, you're missing out, guys. Watch Conan the Barbarian, definitely watch it. The sequel, which is more kiddie friendly, Conan the Destroyer. This is a one, lot of fun to watch. This is I reckon this one's a bit more longer, a bit more long-winded, a little bit definitely darker, but definitely cool. So even though the remakes of the Conan movies aren't bad, actually, guys, if you're interested in, you know, the Conan stories, but we all know Conan, and I do believe, unless this is a myth, that the He-Man Masters of the Universe figures were made based on to try to get Conan with a coincide with the Conan Barbarian movies. But I think because of licensing and so forth, and likeness to Arnie, maybe they just decided to go a different direction. I think that's unless that's an urban myth. I think that's how a Marvel, the Masters of the Universe figures came about. Could be wrong. Okay, that's all the none relating to. And before I get onto the games, because I've chosen a bloody hot day to do it in, as we do, this video, I've got to have a bit of a drink. Just Coke, no some comment of Bacardi unfortunately, but it'll do. It is only 12 o'clock here. Oh, it's warm in it, guys. We shouldn't complain. It's footy season. It's hot. We can be in the garden, and hopefully all the shops and everything will go back to normal soon. But I'm probably tempting fate by saying that. But hey ho. Alright. Gaming goodness. Let's start off with. I usually leave a PS4 to last, but I think I'll go and do a PS4 first for a change because there's not so many this time. I've got this in CX, Battlefield 1 in a steelbook. It's only about £2 or £3. I think it's worth it alone for a steelbook, It's such a good game. This came from Red Arc Games. Sternfront The Mutant War. I think Dylan on Hyper Trigger X, do check his channel out. He's been nominated for YouTube of the Month. Vote for him unless you want to vote for the others. But anyway, a really good sort of top-down, run and gun, crazy shooting type game, really, I suppose. But yeah, I think it's sold out actually. I don't know if you can still get it on Switch, but from Red Arc Games, it's definitely sold out. I got this for, it wasn't a lot, I think it was about £5 from Cash Converters. Kingdom Hearts 3. I have to confess, I got all the Kingdom Hearts games, but I've not actually got round to playing one properly. I mean, when it was on PS2, I did give it 10 minutes. I wasn't into it straight away, and I traded that game back in the day, but since then I've collected them again, because obviously, it's Square Enix and Disney, but it's one of those ones where it's so complicated, the IP in terms of the storylines and everything else. It's like, which one should you play first? And I guess that puts a lot of people off because they think, oh god, where do you start? Anyway, I digress. Blaze View Day 1 edition, special edition. I got this from Game, all new and sealed. It wasn't a lot of money, it was about £12, but yeah, I've got to have a bit of a fighting games and Blaze Blue, why not? Alright, okay. CEX, based on the sort of top-down wartime strategy type games. They look really good actually. Sudden Strike, there's I think quite a few of them on the PC, but this includes this is Sudden Strike 4, but it has all the expansion packs, which are like Dunkirk and Africa and the Pacific and other European battles and stuff. I mean, if you like your World War II top-down battle strategy type games, I mean that wasn't a lot of money. I think it's about under 10 in CX, so that's why I picked it up. I thought it was like my street. This was in CX. I think it's about a £12 mark. Steelbook of Death Stranding. I know Tesco's were doing this cheap apparently. A lot of people picked this up for about £4 for the standard edition, which is a very good deal. But with me, if I can get the steelbook, I don't mind paying a bit extra for that. I think that's just, cool. I'm not sure if I ever get around to playing it because it's quite a bizarre game, but hey ho. Alright, got some VR games. First of all, Killing Floor Double Bill of Killing Floor 2 VR required, and Killing Floor Incursion VR required as well. Take that back. Killing Floor VR not required, Killing Floor 2, and Killing Floor Incursion VR is required. So this is one of the games that you could actually play even if you haven't got a VR, and that's something to bear in mind with these VR games, guys. If you're into collecting PS4, if like this one it says PS4 compatible, I mean PSVR compatible, obviously you don't have to have a VR set. So even if you're not into your VR games and you just want to play a game, you can. So it's worth minding. Don't just turn down games down because they say VR. I mean, I've cut in all the VR games anyway, but the chances are a lot of people will, and you may find some of these games end up being really cheap. It's known which ones are cheap because they're not always released in large numbers. So I've got Heavy Fire. I think I got that from Amazon for about a tenner. Killing Floor, I think it was about 15, maybe a bit less. This I got off eBay. No, not eBay. CX on their online store. I got lucky. It came all complete and everything, and it is a proper UK copy and not a European or American or Australian copy. And that is Home Sweet Home. This is this is like a Kuon type horror game that is picking up a lot of money, guys. So if you collect for PS4 and you like a horror, definitely get this game, Sweet Home, because this is the PS4. This is going to be a PS4 Kuon. I would put money on it. This game is already getting expensive. You look at about 30 quid on eBay. I paid about £24 mark from CX online. But this game is going to get expensive, guys. So I've got no doubt about it. It will. So if you like your horror, you don't have to play it on VR. Like I said, you can play it as normal. Pick it up if you can. Okie dokie. I think I've got some Evercade. Now a lot of people love it. I think Evercade's a marmite of consoles, isn't it? You either love it or you hate it. And for me, I've not gone down that rabbit hole too much in the sense I haven't bought a console yet, and I'm sort of holding off to get one until I see one dirt cheap, I think, because there's been some criticism about some of the ports being like NES versions and not arcade versions, etc. But to be fair to them, they've put a lot of effort into games and artwork and presentation. So I think it's going to be an okay console, really, even though it is really very much old school retro games. But there was a couple of cartridges which I thought I'll get, even if I keep them sealed, which will sort of interest me. One was the Xenocrisis and Tanglewood collection. I got this off, I think it was Amazon for about 15 or something like that. All new and sealed. I've got other ways of playing Xenocrisis. I don't have Tanglewood or Mega Drive, unfortunately, but so I thought I'd get that anyway, while it's a reasonable price. And this one's getting harder to get new and sealed, actually. Argos had a few copies still left. I managed to get it for £12, but even other places are starting to pick up on price. And it's a Namco Museum Collection 2. And this is probably the best Evercade game out there, I would say, because it's not only got Splatterhouse Part 2 and Splatterhouse Part 3. It's got loads of other good shooters as well, Vilios and Dragon Spirit, Pack Attack, Galaga, Rotao, Jaruga, Dig Dug 2, and more games it has. Burning Force, Walkman, Weapon Lord. Yeah, it is a bloody good set, and for £12, I thought, yeah, I'll get that. I know Evercade are bringing out a TV version, aren't they? You can plug it into a TV, which is a nice option, because I'll probably play that more than the handheld mode. But again, that's like a limited one in black, which is what I would rather have as black, to be perfectly honest. But it's the money, isn't it? Really, we all got to choose what we want to, prioritise really. And I really want to get a Sega Astro City next month if I can. I've pre-ordered one from Amazon to get a UK one, but that's going to set me back, so we'll see. Okay, I've got a couple of Dreamcast games. I always think I've finished collecting for Dreamcast, then I've watched some YouTubers and see something, I think, oh, that looks good, I'll get that. Which is what I've done here. So Suzuki All-Star Extreme Racing, a nice motorcycle arcade type game, really cool. And this is a game that's sort of easy to miss. It's Sega Extreme Sports, and I watched some gameplay of this, and it looks just so fun. It really does have that arcadey sporty type game. You know, you've got your snowboarding, you've got your um, motorbiking and cycling and air gliding and I think there's a bit of all sorts in there. It's just a nice. It's a Sega arcade type game. What's not to like, eh? While we're on Sega, for the Mega CD, not an expensive game, the Sega Classics Arcade Collection for the Mega CD. I bought this £7 off eBay. No manual though, so I spent another £3 to get the manual, so in total about a tenner. So I thought that's not bad, is it? Again, PS1, I thought I'd finish collecting for that, but there's a few little games I think, oh, actually, I think I had that to a collection. So we got a couple of the Ricky Carmichael games I didn't have. So we got the Championship Motocross with featuring Ricky Carmichael, and Championship Motocross with Ricky Carmichael. So that's 2001. This is just a standalone one, which was probably either a year before or a year after. Who knows? They were a lot of money, about a £5 or £6 mark each. This one, I can't remember how much I paid for this actually. It wasn't dirt cheap. I think it was maybe between 10 and 15, I can't remember. Off eBay, Hexen. I didn't have this. So it's like a dungeon crawling, it's a bit of a dungeon crawler type game, I suppose. Right, one PC game. The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher's Bay, the Developer's Cut. £6, not a bad price. There is a the Chronicles of Riddick. What's it called? Dark Athena. Return to Dark Athena, which is like the remake version of this that came out on the PS3, but that also came out on PS3. I mean PC rather. So that's a bit more pricey than this one. So this is the original port of this on the PC, and then there's a newer port also, which I'll probably get as well. Even though I've got some old PC laptops and everything else, a lot of these, you know, it's one thing or another. You manage to get it loaded, and it's, you know, it's slow and stuttery. Or if you get it on a newer system, they said, oh, you need this driver, and it's not available on the latest, or you know, one of the Windows packs and stuff or whatever. It really puts me off retro PC game, unless you know what you're doing, which I don't. It's really hard to get into, so that's probably why I'm a console gamer at heart, really, because you just plug things in, you don't have to worry about things becoming out of date, really, so much. I just hope that can still be said for all these, you know, current generation of consoles like PS4 and everything else, really, because everything's all, you know, it's not really on disc anymore. It's all like patches and downloads and everything, really. So when those servers go down, like the PlayStation Network and everything else, you do wonder how many games will still be playable. Will we be able to get the files we need off the internet easily enough? I hope we can. I hope we can, because if not, it'll be a sad day for gaming. I'll say that would be, because there's so many great games out there, aren't there? Anyway, shouldn't moan too much, but sound like an old fart, but then again, I am. Okay, where are we? Alright, DS game. Eddie Rollicle X showed this. It is like an Ikaruga inspired type side shooting game for DS. Danny Phantom Urban Jungle. There are so few shooting games on the DS. There are a few which I do have, and Nano something it's called. What is it? It's 1 and 2, but I can't remember what it's called. Is it Nano Striker or something? I can't remember what it is, but it's something like that. I would have known it about 10 minutes ago, but now it's my brain. It's like an old computer. It lets me down after a while, or it takes a longer time to work. Yeah. There's a few shooting games on DS, but not many, and a lot of them aren't that expensive, but they will be one day. So again, I wanted to pick this up. Wasn't a lot of money. It was about £6 or £7 mark. thank you, Eddie, for that recommendation, because I think that's going to be a really good game to have if you like your shooters, of course. Okay, a couple of UMD movies. I'm pretty much done with the UMD movies. There are quite a few exclusive from America and of course, well, in Europe and Japan. There's a few interesting ones out there. But seeing those and getting those, it's just hard and expensive. Out of interest, guys, if you're into PSP UMD movies, one of the rarest movies to get, which I did have, but I traded with an American seller for a complete in box American PSP, is the Scarface movie. The Scarface game, easy peasy to get up, and it's got a lot of movie footage in it. But the actual full Scarface movie was made in very limited numbers in the States. I had imported it many years ago, but then I just traded it in with a collector, because I was speaking to this American collector and he was a Scarface nut, and I just thought it would be in a better home with him really, and he was quite happy to give me a PSP console and all box, shipped it over to me, and I shipped him that UMD movie, so I thought it was a fair trade. But yeah, if you are into a UMD movie, Scarface was available, but it's bloody hard to get. Another rarity which I have got, which I picked up in Spain years ago, is the original Iron Man movie, the first one with Robert Downey Jr. That was available on UMD movie in Europe, and I got that. I've not seen it since, to be perfectly honest, so I think that's another rarity really. Anyway, I digress a bit. So we've got the Catherine Tate show, not much to talk about really. I like some of her humour. Assault on Precinct 13, the remake, really good movie. Got one lonely PS2 game, Ace Combat Rebellion War. I can't remember, I think it was about a £3 or £4 mark, it wasn't a lot of money. This came, I put this on the on CX to let me know when it was in stock, and it was Pirates vs Ninjas Dodgeball. Again, it wasn't a lot of money, it was about £4. This is for sort of European edition. It plays English though. I know you can get a 100% full English packaging one as well, but I'm not that worried about it really. I just wanted the game. I'm not paid through the nose for it. Sega Saturn. There are a handful of Japanese games which I do want to get, which I have got as repros, but I'd like to get the originals. I haven't got any of those this month, but I did. There was another Power game which I was thinking, oh, I've not had that. I haven't got that, but should I get it? It's an okay beat 'em up. And I thought, oh, sod it, I will. And that is Fighting Vipers. What's cool about this version, that I see this particular edition, this particular copy, it's got the Sega Saturn Magazine Game of the Month sticker on it, which is a nice bit of retro goodness, isn't it? All complete. This is about 13 quid. It's a really nice seller. He also sent me some free Pac-Man pin badges, so that's nice of him. Okay. I'm trying to pick up one GameCube a month, because the GameCube games I want, there's only about 7 or 8 I'm after, but you never see them in the wild, or barely see. I can see them in CX3, so sometimes I've got to take a punt and get them online. I got this from CX, paid the CX roulette, and it came complete. Really pleased. Geist, or Geist, or Geist. I can't remember what I paid for that now. It was definitely about £5 cheaper on eBay anyway, but I can't remember what I paid for it. Okay, an Xbox One game of sorts. I come out with it. I've got the Cuphead, and those of you in the know will know that this game you can't get in a physical format. You're absolutely right, you can't. Why not? I don't know. But when it was released in America, at least, it came with a limited edition sale, picture sale. One of, I think it's about one of about 4 or 5. So it's got them on the back there, up with the ones you can get. I just thought I'd get this for the Xbox One collection, even though it hasn't got a physical copy of the game. I can always download that. I'm still kind of holding off, hoping that there'll still be a physical release someday, but who knows. But it's definitely one that needs a physical release, isn't it, guys? So I just got that for a collection. I got it imported from the States. It was about 15 quid plus another £7 or £8, you know, shipping and stuff. So it wasn't exactly cheap. Especially if you could say, oh, that's just for a box. But it's not just a box. There's an art cell there, and obviously it's the artwork. So for a collection. Okay. Xbox 360. Just about a finished collection for the Xbox 360. I'm not going for a full set. I just gone for all the exclusives and interesting titles that, you know, interest me. But some of the titles I also have on PS3, which I like, or PS4, which are really good favourite movies. So I thought I might as well get them while they're cheap. So I've got the Aliens vs Predator Steelbook. I think that's about £7 or £8. It's about the same money. Alien Isolation, the Steelbook edition. What's this called? Is it a Nostromo edition or something? I can't remember now. But it's a Steelbook. It's a really nice condition, that. And I think again, Mark GeordieSlasherGaming is one that we recommended. W2K16 for the last good wrestling games. I think that's one he recommended. And also, it's got Steve Austin on it, so definitely good in my book. Anyway, Just Dance games. I just wanted another one for the Kinect without going for more, and I thought this is a nice one just to have, and it's Just Dance Greatest Hits. Quite uncommon Greatest Hits. I got this off, where did I get this? I think it was CEX Roulette, and it came complete, which is really good because eBay, again, it's quite expensive to get hold of that Just Dance Greatest Hits, guys. So if you are collecting for your 360 and you especially be going for a full set, this is one that you want to get sooner than later because it's, you know, it's not cheap. The Greatest Hits. Okay, before I go on to the last system, which is PS3, I've also got, related to PS3, this lens cleaning disc that was in the charity shop for £1. It's not much. We all know what the lens cleaning discs are like, aren't they? It's like a CD with a bit of like a brush line type sticking out of it, really. But you don't get to see them so often these days. So I thought for a PS3 collection, it might be useful. Whether or not I actually need to use it, I doubt it, because there's better ways of cleaning the CD lenses, really. But you never know. It's good for a collection anyway. Okay, PS3 now. You probably can't see them on camera, but down this side, all the way up to the top, all the way down to the bottom, going back, double layered, is my PS3 games. I do have even more sort of collector sets on the bottom there, and bigger box sets and things around the back. But with my PS3 collection, I've not counted, but I reckon there's probably between 900 and 1,000 games. And you might say, well, that's nearly a full set of PS3, and probably, you know, probably about 2/3 there if I wanted to. But I just don't want to get all those sports titles, you know what I mean, guys, or too many kids titles and stuff, or My Horse and Me and whatever. You know, I just rather get the games that I'm more interested in and more likely to play. So I've got a room. I haven't got a room to go for full sets. I know I'm doing a full set of a PS3R, but even that's, you know, that's a collection that's become larger than I thought it would be. So yeah, I tend to just want to focus on getting the games I really like as opposed to going for full sets. But anyway, I wanted to finish off the PS3 collection because the games are starting to go up. Not so much as like the Xbox 360, but they are starting to go up. So I thought I've finished the collection off. I haven't done that yet. It's about another 9 or so titles I want to get, which I hope to get next month. But there's some here. Some are a bit pricey. Some are just common games. But I just wanted to get them while they're reasonably priced, you know. So first of all, we got Little Big Planet Game of the Year edition. Again, that wasn't a lot of money. That's about £2 or £3 in CX. NBA Live 08. The only reason if I do get a sports game, if it's because it's 2008, and you say why? Because my daughter was born that year, and so I said to myself, any game with a 2008 in the title, I'll get just for her benefit in the future. Really, if she ever gets into gaming and wants to take over the collection, probably not. But anyway, I just thought that's what I do really, and often enough those games are cheap. Okay, Square Enix done a couple of triple packs. This is the Ultimate Stealth. I think it's also an Ultimate. Is it Fighter or Beat 'em Up game? I don't know. There's another one there is. But this has got Thief, Hitman, and Deus Ex in it. A lot of these games I can't remember how much they were. They could be anything from £2 to about a tenner. I would say a lot of these games are. This one was about a tenner, but I got it from Europe. This is Arthur and the Revenge of Mortazard or whatever, based on the average movie. It's all in English though. Even though it's from Europe, but it's a UK edition as far as I'm concerned. From what I can tell from the packaging. This was all new and sealed. Ages of Earth. This is about £6 off eBay. I got it on PS4, I think. Another game which is you don't see so often. I got it from CX again. It wasn't a lot of money. Turbo Super Stunt Squad. I got that online. Got lucky again. Complete. This was online again from CX. Disney Cars Meta National. I need some more Coke. It's so bloody hot. Oh. Oh. Typical English bloke, I complain. Okay, Legend Guardians, The Owls of Gahoo. I've not seen that movie. I don't know if it's any good or not. I don't know if the game's good or not, but I know it's one I wanted for the collection. And it's probably one that will, go up in price because they're probably not sold in huge numbers. This one is eBay are wanting a lot of money, but CX was still doing it for next to nothing. And that is Carnival Island. It's one of the PlayStation Move games. So that is one that if you see it cheap, guys, and you get it for PS3, do not ignore that if you see it cheap, because eBay are asking silly money for it. Like this one, eBay is asking silly money for this. This is the first edition of Saints Row Gat Out of Hell, and I got that for a reasonable price. I can't remember what it was. I think it was from eBay. Well, not eBay, CX. But some people on eBay are asking silly money for that game. MXX versus ATV Untamed. I love these motocross and quad bike games. They're so arcadey, aren't they? Cabela's Dangerous Adventures. I like shooting, but I'm not so mad about shooting animals, but hey yo, it's well collection. Right, World Rally Championship 4. Again, that wasn't a lot of money, but it was a racing game. The classic NBA Jam. I got this because of the World Cup, FIFA 18. I got a feeling this is the PSV version. You can't, unlike the PS4 version and everything else, you can't download the men's World Cup teams. You can play the female, like England and World Cup teams, but not the men's on the PS3. God knows why, but that's what it is. So it's a bit disappointing, really. But I think I've got that on PS4. I've got this off CX. It's all complete. It's English on the back as well as other European countries. It's Guilty Gear XRD Revelator. And the last game, I got this off eBay. Got it reasonably cheap. I got it for about £12 mark. But the games didn't come with a manual, so I just bought the games on their own for about £5 together. And so I'll just trade off those games to somebody, or CX probably. and put the manuals in this set. And this is a Red Faction box set, which has the 2 Red Faction games standalone, which I did have on their own before anyway. But they had this little box set, and I thought that's not bad. I haven't got that. And some people on eBay again are asking silly money for this, and Amazon it's not cheap in either really. So I thought I think I might pick that up while I can do so while it's reasonably priced really. So that's the Red Faction collection on the PS3. And that's it, guys. That's all my retro goodness. Yeah, I think I've done alright again. As always, guys, do leave comments in the like if you like, and spread the word. I always respond to comments that people leave, and I like having that two-way dialogue, because this is part of the reason why I do these videos. It's not just to show off or anything else, but I'm not really bothered about that. It's about just sharing the knowledge really, and sharing the love that we have for these hobbies, and showing the love that we have for retro. And you may ask, well, why do we do that? I guess you could go into the psychology of it all really, but I think as we get older, especially men, we get rather nostalgic for our childhoods and what we consider to be the best parts of our lives, I suppose. And there's lots of happy memories in the past, isn't it, really? So I think that's all part of the reason why men in particular become rather nostalgic, is just trying to hold on to those happy days, I suppose, because let's face it, when you get to your 40s and you've got mortgages and pressures of work and bills and no mind a pandemic and other shit like that, you've got nothing to worry about really. So it's nice to have a nice healthy distraction about a few good things in life really. And obviously family's more important, and spending time with family and everything, don't get me wrong, that is, and those experiences. But there's no harm if you've got the spare disposable income to get a few, have a hobby, get a few other bits and bobs, that you like to do, if it gives you a bit of happiness. Why not? Why not, we say. So that's my philosophy. If it doesn't hurt anybody and you like what you got, why not? Okay, guys. As before, don't forget to look up my YouTubers another month. Check out Sega Scott's channel. Yeah, that's right. Sega Zombies Scott's channel. Check out this YouTuber month video and check those other channels out. Do vote for those other channels by all means. Don't worry about me, but do vote for those other channels, because that's what counts really, and support those channels, because this is a great hobby, and the more people in the community, better. So again, take care and bye.